Senator Tillis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair Durbin, I appreciate you saying that too. I think that's the best way for us to get the work done. A few years ago, we had two bills on the floor that came very, very close. We had a historic number of Republicans voting for a path to citizenship for the DACA population. We almost got where we needed to be on addressing some of the border security issues. Now we can, I think, dust that off and come up with something productive. I, for one, would like for this to be the Congress where we address the DACA population, that we also address some of these guest worker programs and green card issues, which, to me, I live firsthand. I got exposed to the H-1B process in my job as a partner at Price Waterhouse. And I've tried to tell anyone who thinks that we just need to find more computer scientists, more data analysts, more people with advanced degrees from the U.S. population, that they need to wake up and recognize, if we want our economy to continue to grow, if we want to continue to build on this great economy, that we've got to look to legal immigration as a critical part of fulfilling our workforce needs and really growing our innovation economy. Mr. Melmet, you were chief counsel at CIS, right?
Yes, sir.
It seems to me that they're working on technology that existed largely before MySpace existed. Just based on your business perspective of that operation, the lack of electronic systems, it just seems like there's not going to be enough oil in the gears of CIS to even just process the current backlog. And for people like me who would like to see more going through, that they're going to have to really modernize, and we're going to have to make the investments to allow them to do that. Do you agree?
Absolutely, Senator. And I know my colleague, Professor Legomsky, also supported the agency as they were wrestling with this after me. Being on the outside now, it's pretty phenomenal the way technology is transforming business. There are some positive signs out of the immigration agency. This year, they've now been running the H-1B registration system as an online tool for a couple years, and that's gone well and successfully. They're starting to do more online payments, but that gives you an idea of how far they are behind the private sector in terms of case management. It's still a paper-based process and very slow.
Yeah, and I also agree, Professor, that when you build, and I've got lifelong friends that back in the 1990s brought on as H-1B visa workers, and I saw firsthand the connection to family members as these were some younger, freshly out of graduate school or with a PhD, building a life and building a family, getting caught up in all the things that we're talking about here. That's why we do have to look at it, because it's actually a drain and a distraction on the professionals. It actually undermines productivity and their quality of life, and I think that we do have to look at it through that lens. Mr. Melmet, are you familiar with the Preserving Employment Visas Act that we proposed?
Familiar with it, yes, Senator.
Does it make sense conceptually that if we have all these unused visas, we have 7 million, 8 million plus job openings, that's at least going to take a portion out of that pressure that we have today?
It does, Senator.
And I also think that I've heard in several hearings now that we're tracking a lot more entrepreneurs, a lot more new businesses have opened up. I think the COVID pandemic has made people either pursue dreams that they had on the shelf or just pursue other ways to make an income, and they may never be going back to those jobs. So aren't we really undermining our ability to grow the economy and get back to a post-COVID kind of performance if we don't look at these issues?
We are, and I would note that immigrants are, saw the statistic, 25% more likely to start new businesses. Mm-hmm. And so hundreds of thousands of high-skilled professional workers can't leave their employer today, otherwise they jeopardize their green card application. So both shortening that time period and allowing them to get their green card and then go out and start on their own, or creating other opportunities, are all going to boost the economy.
That I think, just back on DACA, why I was so glad to hear what Senator Durbin has proposed is we did a lot of research on people who would be qualified through the DACA program. And if you were to take a cohort of, depending upon the estimates, of 1.8 million to 2.2 million that would be eligible for the program, about 700,000 would enrolled in it. There are extraordinary people They tend to have higher levels of, they're either engaged in education, gainfully employed, serving in the military. I mean, for anyone who would have a philosophical problem with a path to citizenship for that population should probably do their homework, because I actually think it's a group of people that we should figure out a way to solve that problem. But I do also believe, Mr. Chairman, the only way we're going to solve it is to have a broader discussion about some of these other things that I believe that we could ultimately put a package together and make significant progress. And I hope that that progress is made in this Congress. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tillis. I just want to compliment you on your effort as well on the Preserving Employment Visas Act, which would represent a great step forward in reducing the employment-based backlog. And after today, I would love to work with you to